Hey guys, welcome back to my channel of me just running my mouth. So today we're gonna talk about like how big the internet is and how big the internet is not. So I was talking to like my siblings or whatever the other day, and we were just really like talking about the stuff that's like online or whatever, and like basically like obviously we like different ages or whatever, and the stuff that's like on our social media feeds is like not similar at all. Like I find that like some of the memes will cross over, some of the popular videos will cross over as like to like different platforms, but I just feel like the internet is way bigger than what people say that it is, but then at the same time it's a very small place. So the other day we was talking and my brother was telling me about like this guy that I guess is viral, but then the question is, what really is viral anymore? What really is the definition of popular anymore on the internet? And it's a guy and some videos that like he has a tagline or whatever, and he's just like, he always says on God, on God. I don't know who this person is. I've never seen a video about this man ever, and he just always like quoting that or whatever, and I'm like, I don't know, I never seen that video. And then like my sister, like she watched stuff on YouTube and everything, and it's like a lot of YouTube couples that she watched that I've never seen, never heard of, but apparently they living their best life. And it's just interesting how like everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people will say like, oh, you know, the internet, like it's the same stuff. That's what people say. People always say like, it's the same stuff on the internet, it's the same stuff, it's the same people posting the same things, especially like men. Like I don't really like listening to men like complain about like Instagram models and shit like that or whatever, because it's like there's a lot of regular women on the internet. Like it's just what's on your timeline, what's on your feed, that you keep continue to watch these women that show up on your feed. Like there's billions of people in this world. Everybody is not an Instagram model. And I don't know, it's just interesting how everybody kind of comes to this conclusion based on their algorithm that is already proven to give you what you engage in constantly, which is not what everybody around you engages in constantly. And everybody like makes it seem like, oh well, this is all there is to the world. It's like everyone is creating like these echo chambers and then projecting it out like this is the real world. So I don't know, I just wanted to say like how big the world is, or just acknowledge how big the internet is, but also how small it is. So another example was, I was doing like Uber for a little while or whatever, and then like, so one of the people I went and I picked them up downtown, right? And they were having like some convention, and it was, I guess it's like I don't know what the hell it's called. I'm gonna call them furries. I don't know if that's what it's called. I forgot what the convention was called, but like the people, they dress up in the mascot costumes, like like a mascot costume, but then like a bunch of different types that are like also Halloween, like big old suits, but any furry animal you could think of, not just teen mascots, but like all the furry animals or whatever you could think of. Like I forgot what the hell it was called, but it was like a furry convention or whatever. So this guy I picked up at the hotel or whatever that was hosting the convention, and he was like an older man. He was like in his late 40s, early 50s or something like that, some like Asian orientation or whatever. And he I was picking him up, and he was like dressed I guess like a regular man or whatever. And I was like, oh, what convention were they hosting? and or like what were they doing, like, or whatever. And he was like, oh, it's the furry convention or whatever. And I was like, that's so cool, because that's dope how people can find their people, like from all over the place, like from all over the world. People can find their people, even if y'all have wearing furry costumes in common. Y'all can get a convention together and y'all can all go and be a part of that. And so he was like, yeah, I was here for the convention this weekend. And he didn't look like he was interested in something like that. I thought he was there for, business, obviously. He was going to get back. I was taking him to the airport, and he was leaving. And he was like, yeah, I gotta go to work, Monday or whatever. He was like, but I just came for the convention. And so, like, it was so cool how, like, he was a part of it, even though he didn't look like it or whatever. And he was like, yeah, like, he was just telling me about it. And I was just like, it's so cool how everybody can find their people or their little niche audience on the internet. And I just want people to, like, focus more on the positive niche audiences on the internet. Like, it's not hard to find, like, if you can find a furry convention and everybody go be a part of it, and you have like hashtags like plant mom or plant dad or something like that, and you have like this whole little community of like people who talk about plants and and stuff like that. You can find like positive places to like reinforce the positive things that you're interested in on the internet. It doesn't always have to like be negative. I just feel like people need to take more responsibility in the fact that the internet is a mirror of like what you're interested in. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, there's people that unfairly get bullied on the internet for no reason other than the other people are just miserable. But you can find your people. It don't matter what you're interested in, whether that's a little mascot, little things, or plants, or bitch buttons, collecting buttons. So whatever fuck you do. There's people that fucking pencils, and they just talk about pencils. Like, I mean, you can do whatever you want. Like, I don't know. The internet could be really, really small, like a niche audience, and it could be really, really big. But I think now we're in a space where people have to like self-reflect or like be conscious and reminding themselves that the world is not your timeline. I think that's really what me and my like siblings were realizing, like when we was on the phone together. It was like the world is not our timeline, because just because the people that we follow and the things that we see, and like people may post the same meme here and there, doesn't mean that's what everybody I know in real life is seeing. The people you meet in real life, they don't know what the fuck you talking about. Like, really much all I want to say on it. I don't really have like a cohesive video essay about how people have taken their timeline and made it I don't know the proper words for it. I don't know, like they just made it literally their entire world, and or they don't conscientiously like remember that other people don't have the same timeline, and they're not like seeing the same things all the time. And the world, oh my gosh, I keep moving the video, and the world like doesn't like reflect that all the time. And I think that like attributes to why a lot of people now feel like very like lonely. Girl, not my lips looking like this. Why people like feel very, very lonely, I feel like that might have a lot to do with it, because you only have like that reflection of you on the internet, and not like a lot in real life, even though the beauty of real life is that you can like discover more things and meet new people and find out new things, like finding out that they have furry conventions and shit downtown. Like there's a lot of things you can like discover in real life too, and online. You just got to be willing and open to do it. And then also I want to talk about like just a little bit about like the negativity that people, I think, I'm gonna be honest, I think personally, and this might be, I don't know if this would be considered victim blaming, because I am from like a different generation. Like I remember playing outside and all the outside games and having to navigate social settings because we didn't have a phone to run to, we didn't have the internet to run to, or just sit inside all day and play video games and shit. Well, I was never a gamer anyway, so I wasn't interested in that. But I remember the era before social media, basically, and like I don't know if this is victim blaming or me just like being ignorant to like the new way of things, but like just a little bit about negativity. I just think like people don't really take like the responsibility when it comes to what their focus is. The algorithm's job is to give you what you keep feeding, you know, what you keep putting your eyes on, what you keep feeding. So like they're just gonna give that back to you. So it's crazy how like people are like, oh, the internet is so negative, the internet is so negative, it's so negative. And it's just like, is the internet negative, or is it just giving you what you know, is it just doing what it can do to keep you there, which is just you keep focusing on the negative, so it's gonna keep giving you the negative. Like I don't know if that, like, if it's completely 100% the person's fault, but I feel like a large portion of it is the person's fault, because the algorithm's job is just to give you what is going to keep you there. And if it's negativity, then it's negativity. If it's things that inspire you, then it's things that inspire you. I remember like years ago, I made a conscientious decision to like make sure my algorithm was what inspired me and what made me laugh and what was beautiful. So I make a conscientious decision to like look at videos and pictures and stuff, or, you know, watch things and things like that that are inspiring and things like that, because if I'm gonna be there, then it might as well just be, you know, positive affirmation and positive reinforcement and inspiration to myself. Then I remember one time years ago, I was following this one person, and so I kept going down a rabbit hole of a lot of the content that was related to that person, or the hashtags and things like that. So I started getting all these other suggestions of all this crazy stuff. Like, I mean, it got to the point where like there was like a video of like fighting or whatever, and I was never really into shit like that. Like that was very like when YouTube first started, like very briefly, even when YouTube first started and people was posting fights, that was very, very briefly. Like I was never into shit like that. But anyway, like it got to that point where it was like, okay, well, this is negativity or this is craziness, so let me, you know, suggest more craziness. And I remember seeing like a fight, and then I was like, you know, see fewer posts, or I would see certain celebrities I'm not really interested in, I would like click fewer posts, and then I ended up seeing like this one picture and this one person, and I ain't got nothing against them and what they got going on, but it's like I don't want to see that on this platform. And it was just very inappropriate to me on that platform. And then I was like, okay, I know how this stuff started ending up on my suggestions page. Let me make the conscientious decision to stop going in this direction, and let me like make a point to like only like and let videos continue to play that are positive to me. Let me make a decision and click on things that are positive to me, and like stop, you know. And then it filtered out, like it literally filtered out, like it just became all this great stuff like on my suggestions page. It just stop looking at it, stop clicking on it, purposely make a conscientious decision to only click on things that inspire you and make you laugh. And I've had to tell people that, you know, but they just shake their head and they just like, it's not real, like that's not possible to do. And you know, it made me realize like a lot of us, we are living in a reality that we made for ourselves. Like it could change if you wanted it to, but it's a reality that we really made for ourselves. But I don't know, that's all I wanted to say on that. That's my little 2 cents on the internet and algorithms and, you know, positive reinforcements and, you know, I guess accountability and, you know, self-reflection, all the things, right? I don't know. I don't really know exactly if I made my point in this video. I hope I did, about how big the internet is and how, you know, small it can be and how we can use it to our advantage, to live a life that we want. I hope it was inspiring to some people. I hope it was motivating to others to take control of their algorithms. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.